So it's been quite a minute since I've done a channeled message, but I got the inspiration to share something with you all from my journaling sessions that I do every single rising, which encompasses me essentially getting into a state of flow where I am then able to channel messages from either my guides, my ancestors, my higher self. Whatever message wants to come through that day is the message that I'm going to essentially transmit and write down, and in some cases, share with you guys here on my YouTube channel. The message goes something like this. For this month, focus on love. How can you bring more love and joy into your life? This includes self-love first. You must practice more self-love. Ask yourself throughout the day, what would someone who loves themselves do? And this will give you the answers you need always. Will someone who loves themselves fill their bodies with garbage or fill their bodies to the capacity, leaving no space for light to enter? Would someone who loves themselves deprive themselves of natural sunlight and fresh air, exercise, spiritual practices? Would someone who loves themselves procrastinate on things that they know they must complete in a certain time frame? Would someone who loves themselves choose laziness and sorrow over achieving and working on their ideal life and fullest potential? Ask yourself these questions throughout the days this month and watch as your concept of self-love evolves and begins to reflect throughout all areas of your life. So that was my channeled message. However, I did also have a video scripted that I wanted to do talking about self-love practices. So I figured I would just combine those two and put them here in this video. So we're just going to have a little discussion, a little chit chat about ways that you can improve your self-love and what this looks like and what are the benefits of doing this. I think a lot of times people don't even know that they're not loving themselves, and this is probably where we should start with awareness. The way that you can kind of understand this is, how do you feel throughout the day? Do you feel happy? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel like the universe is truly working and co-creating with you? Or do you feel as though you are down and depressed, or there's always something going against you? Because the chances are your outer world is a reflection of what you're feeling internally. And so if we constantly encounter people who, do harmful things to us, or who don't show us love, or just situations that also feel like they're lacking love, we sometimes need to turn within and think about, okay, what part of me am I not loving in this moment that is creating this outer experience? So I want to start with the importance of self-love. Self-love goes so much deeper than the surface level. So I think a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go to the spa, or I'm going to go get some ice cream, or I'm going to go take myself shopping, and this is my self-care. Self-love is a deeper commitment to yourself. So what I mean by this is, self-love is evident in your daily actions. The things that you do every moment of your day is an indication of how much you love yourself. So if you are feeling down and depressed and you choose to lay in bed all day, I know there are a lot of reasons why people would do this, but one of the things that we need to start practicing and getting into the habit of is asking ourselves, like I mentioned, what would someone who loves themselves do in this moment despite the current circumstances? So someone who loves themselves in that moment would get up and take a shower. They'd go for a walk. They would open the blinds, get some fresh sunlight, some fresh air. They would, consume foods that will help make them feel better, versus continuously perpetuating this idea that we are hopeless and helpless. And again, this takes a lot of time. So give yourself some grace. Understand that you can take small steps each day, and eventually this will become habitual and this will be your normal way of life. So don't think that you have to change completely overnight. Just try to incorporate one good thing thing for yourself each day, and over time you'll begin to only make choices that reflect the love that you have for yourself. So my personal journey with self-love is very deep, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate, because essentially sometimes it starts at home and then we go out into the world on our own as adults, and then we realize, and through our relationships and through our experiences, just how much we lack the love that we need for ourselves in order to navigate this world that we live in. And so personally, I recognize that my healing journey started with loving myself. It started with putting myself first and finding ways to heal myself that wasn't for someone else or wasn't because of someone else. So when I made the decision to take my healing journey a little more personal and a little more serious and doing it for me, that's when I started recognizing all of the moments in time where I tend to put others first, or I tend to value what others think of me more than I valued my thoughts of myself, because they weren't strong enough in order for me to operate from that point of truth. And I think one of the key moments for me realizing this was through my own personal relationships, through my own personal experiences, where I kept hitting this wall of resistance, and it would be in those moments of resistance where I would have an aha moment of, oh, wait, if I cared for myself a little bit more, or if I had healthier habits, or if I made choices based on my internal truth, then I wouldn't be in this situation. And in order for us to break a cycle, we essentially have to come to these breaking points, which I had one too many of, and I think eventually it led to one big breaking point where I was essentially like, okay guys, I am done. I am ready to sit down and really understand what it is that I'm lacking within and what it is that I'm seeking without, and trying to incorporate that into my healing journey so that I no longer am seeking this from the external world. So some ways to start practicing self-love, and again, this looks so different for so many people, but one of the ways that helped me is journaling. And as I started out the video, this has been many years of practice for me. Journaling allows me to release my thoughts and to observe them and to see how I am truly feeling and make sure that it aligns with who I feel as though I am internally. And affirmations is another way to start building self-love. Just writing down something that makes you feel good, an affirmation that you can repeat on a daily basis to remind yourself and to start building up new beliefs, and mindfulness practices. So one thing that I incorporated was my rising routine, and that is a gift for me every rising, to be able to have a moment with myself and a moment of gratitude and grounding me before I go out and start my day. And this is one of the first decisions that I make when I wake up in the rising. So this again goes back to self-love is all about making choices and creating habits that will help guide you and lead you towards the life that you desire and the life that you deserve. And so one of the things that I like to do as part of my way of self-love is to commit to that and make sure that I'm making those choices, which start with how I start my day. And again, you don't have to jump into all of these at once. I recommend starting small. If something resonates with you, and if I didn't mention it in that list, find something that resonates with you and go with it and do it consistently. And then once you feel as though you've built a good routine with that, then you can start incorporating other modalities and other methods into your daily practice and choosing healthier options each and every day, because essentially that's what it all comes back to. So I have some book recommendations on how to improve your self-love. One of these books was given to me as a gift. Actually, both of these books were actually given to me as gifts, and I really truly appreciate them. You know, sometimes when we get a book and we kind of like put it on our shelves and we don't read it until the right moment, that was the case with both of these books. They came to me many years before I actually read them, and the moment in time that I read them, they were perfect. So the first book is All About Love by Bell Hooks. And when I tell you, this book allowed me to understand the many forms of love that there are out there. I have read the book several times since getting it, And I highly recommend this for anyone who is looking to not only heal their own self-help, their self-love, but also their love with others and their relationship to love. And the second book is How to Be Loved by Humble the Poet. I admire this book dearly. There were a lot of points in this book that made me want to sit down and write. So if you're interested in my brief review of this book, I have that linked down below. But I think these two books were a really great start for me to better understand the relationship that I had with love and the relationship that I had to myself when it comes to love. So I will end this video with reminding you that you are worthy of love, and that love starts with loving yourself, and you are more than capable of doing so. Thank you.